What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Welcome back to Divine Time, where we have real conversations about healing, growth, authenticity, and navigating life with an open heart. Today's episode is one that I know is going to resonate deeply because betrayal is something many people have experienced in one form or another. And betrayal isn't always cheating. Sometimes betrayal is trusting people who never intended to honor your heart. Sometimes it's society conditioning you to be someone you were never meant to be. And sometimes betrayal is the moment you realize you've been abandoned yourself trying to make others comfortable. Today, we're joined by someone who understands this journey intimately. Lora Cheadle is the author of FLAUNT, Drop Your Cover and Reveal Your Smart, Sexy, and Spiritual Self. And she helps people navigate betrayal trauma, emotional healing, and reclaiming their identity after painful life experiences. So with that, let's go ahead and welcome Lora to Divine Time.
Thank
Can you
you
hear
so
me?
much.
All
I
right.
can.
How you doing? How you doing?
Great. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
I'm looking forward to it too because betrayal is something I know a lot of people go through. It's something that unfortunately is part of being human. It happens to all of us at some point in our life, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So with it, first thing I want to do is have you start off with your story.
Yeah, definitely. I was married for 23 years and I really thought I had an amazing marriage. I mean, were there tough times? Of course, there's really tough times. You know, we raised kids, there's finances, there's in-laws, there's all of that. But I really thought that we were still partners, that through it all, we loved each other, we respected each other, all of that good stuff. Right before my youngest was about to graduate from high school, I found out that my husband had been cheating. Not only just cheating, but he had been cheating for 15 years with 5 different women. And it devastated me. Not only because, well, of course, my partner's faithful. Why wouldn't he be faithful? But because it shattered my reality. It was like every vacation, every holiday, every anniversary, my kids' entire lives. Was any of that real? What was real? And how could I be so ugly and dumb and bad and stupid that I couldn't be enough? And what had I done wrong? It shattered me to a point where I honestly didn't see how I was going to come out the other side.
So you said he was cheating with 5 or
Yes.
I don't even, as a man, I don't even understand how you get the mental capacity to even deal with that.
Right.
Sometimes my wife alone, I'm just like, it's like she's got 5 personalities. So trying to,
Right.
that's wild. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. To clarify too, because yes, the mental capacity to hold that is a lot.
Mhm.
It wasn't like it was constantly 5 people all the time.
Yes.
It was one person, who he connected with 8 times over 15 years,
Oh
and then
wow.
sporadic, like some one night stands through there.
Mhm.
So it's I don't wanna say it sounds worse than it was because it was worse. It was all
Yeah.
worse. But over 15 years, yeah, there were these 5 different instances.
So everybody has their own idea of what betrayal looks like, what it feels like. So what I want to ask you today, Laura, is betrayal isn't most people usually would think of something along the lines of infidelity when it comes down to betrayal, especially if you're talking about relationships. But betrayal can show up in many different forms. So how do you define betrayal?
Betrayal is defined as the breaking of an expectation
Hmm.
that you have relied on. Not just any expectation, but one that you have materially relied upon that then ruptures your view of yourself
Yes.
or your world when that expectation is broken. Now, before all of this happened, I was a corporate attorney. When I left my job as a corporate attorney, when I had kids and all of that, I
Hmm.
left because I thought I had been burned out. What I really realized later on was understanding betrayal is I left because I felt betrayed. Not that my company had actually betrayed me, but I was raised to think I could do anything. I was raised to believe women could do it all and have it all, and I could raise kids and be a wife and a mom and work full time and be a successful attorney, that I would get regular promotions and raises. I had this whole structure in my mind about how life should be. And when those expectations that I had relied on, if you go to college, you're gonna be successful, right? If you do this,
Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh. It was a betrayal. And that's when I started really realizing, oh my gosh. I mean, whether it's workplace, whether it's personal, or even whether it's like political. Wait, this isn't supposed to be this way. Or just in the world. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You mean people do that? There's betrayal everywhere. And it's a very deep spiritual lesson that we can learn a lot from if we can process that pain, process that grief, and move through it.
I love that. Process that pain, process that grief, and move through it, which is interesting that you even said that because as you were speaking, something crossed my mind and it actually kind of dealt with pain. So I love the fact that you brought that in. Look at that. We're syncing
We're
up on
we're
the,
right
the, the
there.
thought process already. And what it came down to was, do you think that some people don't realize that they've been betrayed because they've normalized pain?
Yes. And the other thing is we have been conditioned to
Mhm.
fear pain. You know what I mean? If you're having a
Yes.
problem, don't talk about it. If this has happened in your life, don't talk. People are gonna judge you. Shh. And that was something that I learned very early on in my betrayal journey is the
Mhm.
shame I felt. And it was like, I didn't do anything. I didn't cheat. I was being honest. I was leaning into the marriage. I was coping. I was doing everything. Why do I feel shame? Because he made those decisions. And then when I would talk about it with people or try to talk about it, some people, yes, had the capacity and were very loving and kind. Other people were like, "Whoa, don't, nope, don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that." And it's such a universal experience. We all experience betrayal. It feels so much better to be able to talk, to be able to share, to be able to be human and be like, "Yes, I've been broken too, and this is how I re-regulated myself. And yes, I felt that too, and it's not on you.
Mhm.
Hurt people, it's not you."
Facts. Hurt people hurt people. I say that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Would
So
you would you say that betrayal can affect someone's identity?
big time. That's one of the other pieces that people don't necessarily realize. They think it's a rupture of the relationship, whether it's a
Mhm.
work relationship or a personal relationship. But what it does is it ruptures your identity. It ruptured who I thought I was. I thought I was a great wife. I thought I'm like my view of myself,
Yes.
Laura's fun. Laura does all these great things. She's so kind. She's so loving. She's like always ready. And then it was like, wait, I can't be a good wife if he cheated on me. I can't be cute or pretty or fun. Like it's this identity piece. If he did that, then I can't be the way that I think I am. And if I'm not that way, then who am I?
And that right there can lead, I can only imagine will lead a person into a form of depression, just understanding or talking to yourself in such a negative manner,
Yes.
blaming yourself for a lot of things that ultimately is not your fault. But then you take it and turn it into your fault, make it your fault. And then you
Mhm.
start telling yourself that you're a bad person or you can't do something right.
Yeah, you internalize that pain. And yeah, you do make it about you as an
Mhm.
attempt to control. Because if I can change the way I act or relate, or then I have control and then I can never be hurt again. And that's the fallacy. I can be quote unquote perfect and I can still get hurt. I
Mhm.
am a spiritual person. I did all the right things. I consider myself intuitive. So, how can I still be hurt? And that's part of the uncomfortable truths too. Good people can be hurt.
Yep.
Just because you're good and kind and spiritual doesn't make you immune from all of this. And that was a tough lesson.
And I mean, that's powerful because people don't just lose trust in others, they lose trust in themselves. Now, can you go a little bit more into the identity rupture?
Oh, totally. I didn't know who I was because
Mhm.
I thought, like I said earlier, I thought I knew who I was. I thought I had built up all of these systems and relationships around me, and I thought I knew who I was. And then when this happened to me, I had to figure out how can I both look at myself and look at other people, because I was big into I don't want to blame other people. I don't want to just point the finger and get no growth out of this. I don't want to just leave the marriage. Spoiler alert, we are together 8 years later, we are still together, but I didn't want to just
Oh
point the finger.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's been a ride, I'll tell you that. But I didn't want to just point the finger and say like you jerk, you hurt me. I needed to look at myself too. But then how do I look at myself and realize I am separate and distinct? What he did was based on his trauma, his flaws, his lack of coping mechanisms. That was on him. I didn't cause anything. However, how can I grow? How can I stop abandoning myself? Because that was that mirror. I really feel like relationships are mirrors. And if he is betraying me, what is that mirror to myself? Where am I betraying myself? Where am I abandoning? Where am I pleasing? Where am I just saying, oh, whatever you want? Where am I putting myself last? And how can I step more fully into my presence, into my power? How can I stop having a transactional relationship, stop proving my worth? And how can I grow through this and create an identity of somebody who has been wounded, fairly mortally wounded, and has come out the other side stronger and has become wiser because of it? How can I use this as a catalyst for self growth and self reflection? Because it's so easy to become bitter. Like, I could be
Facts.
telling the story about what this man did to me for the rest of my life. Like, I really could, but how is that gonna help me? So my identity is more than like my identity is so much more than betrayal. Betrayal is something that I went through.
Mhm.
Betrayal is something that broke me open, but I am not the betrayed wife forevermore.
It's like the dark part of a Disney princess.
Totally, totally.
So oh, I love your personality. I think that many people usually end up carrying shame after betrayal, almost as if they failed.
Yeah,
So with that, why do you think that many people internalize harmful actions as proof that they weren't enough?
couple of different
I need to
reasons.
start looking at the camera.
It's all good. Um, I think, like I said earlier, one of the reasons that we internalize it is because then we think we have control, and
Mhm.
that's just false. You know, if it's like when you go to anything, well, if you hadn't have done whatever it was,
Yes.
then I can control it. So that's the first part of it. And then the second part is it's this weird identity around victim. We
Mm,
sometimes we don't want to be victims, and
yeah.
sometimes we do want to be a victim. And if I'm the victim, you will give me sympathy and you will give me, consideration and you will help me. So it's that weird interplay to
Uh,
am I the victim or am I not the victim? And how can I be victimized? Make no mistake, I was victimized, but I'm not playing the role of victim. And that's a distinction.
good, 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 good. Man, you hit the victim. That uh, I, uh,
Yeah.
I've had a while where I've had individuals come on and talk about I call them creatures, but narcissists, and the the victim part, the trying to play victim, that roll. I wish I could roll my eyes. I would look weird trying to do it. But that's what I'm attempting to do. But I want to go a little bit deeper. So,
Please.
how much of our suffering comes not just from betrayal, but from societal programming?
Huge, 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 huge. Okay. I loved when you read the title of my book because you kind of smiled and laughed. Drop your cover and reveal your smart, sexy, and spiritual self. When
Mhm,
people hear that, they're like, what do you mean? You can either be smart, especially if you're female, sexy, or spiritual. How can you be smart and sexy and spiritual all at the same time? Oh Lord, we can all be everything that we want because we are who we are. We just
mhm,
have these beliefs that things are mutually exclusive when they aren't. And that plays into our identity as well. And
mhm,
like I mentioned, the shame, I felt so much shame when I found out about my husband's infidelity, in part because about 10, 15 years before I found out, which was long after he started cheating,
mhm,
I started taking pole fitness classes. I started dancing burlesque. I started doing these things that were so out of the norm for a mom, for a wife. I started dancing burlesque at age 44. I felt all this shame. People are going to judge me. They're going to say it's my fault. I did this weird, crazy thing. What was wrong with Laura that caused this?
mhm.
It didn't cause it, but that shame and that fear was one of those things that really kept me quiet and kept me not communicating early on about it because I didn't want people to be like, "Oh, Laura, that is just not okay. You shouldn't have done that." Society's nasty. You know what I mean?
Society. I
It
always say this. I'm like, normal is based off of the masses,
yes.
and so therefore, who really can say what is normal, what is not normal? Normal is based off of the masses. So the more people that feel the type of way have more saying to say that, okay, that's not normal.
Right. Right. And normal versus right or versus wrong. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? There are some things that are normal to do. I mean, for many, many years, it was normal to beat your kids with a belt. You know what I mean?
I,
As we've
I still
grown,
do it.
you're like, "Okay, not today." But, like, as we've grown and developed other ways of like, "Oh, you can do a timeout. Oh, you can do this." Like, we're broadening the tools that are in our toolbox. We
Hmm.
used to think women could only stay home. We've had all of these broad judgments and categories that we believe all people should or should not do, and as we grow and we learn, guess what? Women
Yep.
can hold jobs. Guess
Yep.
what? I mean, ageism is huge too. I'm almost 60. I
Oh,
don't look like my grandmother and great-grandmother looked at 60. That's because of who I am and because of the way society has changed, and
yes.
that's fine.
And that is so true because I've seen photos of people in their 60s when they're younger, and I don't know what we doing, but we doing something right.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe people would look at us and say, "You're not normal. You're not aging normally. You shouldn't be out having fun. You shouldn't
Hmm.
be." And it's like, "No, I can be who I am." And then when you go outside of the norm, even though it's who you are, it creates that inner tension. This is who I am, but I'm putting on these masks. I'm putting on this armor to protect myself from that judgment. And then we have shame based on who we are when, come on, we were created to be who we are, and
Yes.
we're perfect exactly how we are.
And there's so many people who are afraid to be themselves because they want to fit in with the masses, with
Yes.
society. So let me ask you this: being told how to love, how to look, how to behave, and who to become, how much does that shape how betrayal impacts us?
That's a great question. I think it shapes it profoundly.
Mhm.
Thinking back to some past generations, I think we've come a long way in these recent generations. If you are the betrayed
I
woman,
agree.
yeah, you have to stay. You are stuck. It's your lot in life. And if you still have some beliefs that I am over the hill, that I can never make money on my own, that I can never find love again, whether you're a man or a woman, what are these beliefs that you're holding about yourself? And how can betrayal be the catalyst for you to release all of those beliefs and be like, actually, I'm more vibrant than that. I'm more connected than that. I am really, really willing now to metaphorically let my hair down and be who I am and to receive the kind of love that I want to receive and to be in the relationship the way I want to be in the relationship. One thing my husband and I have often said these past 8 years is we're getting the relationship we always wanted. We're
Mm,
getting the marriage we always wanted. It was good before. It was fine before. But there were places where we were more transactional, where we just didn't
mm.
rock the boat. I'm not going to rock the boat because I don't want to cause a problem. And now we're like, we're going to rock that boat in service of making it all better. And if we can't make it better, we'll just have to figure something out.
Yep. I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, look, she was brought up in a way to where she's very non-confrontational. And with
Yes.
that, it makes it very difficult when we need to have crucial conversations because she
Yes.
kind of like just freezes up. But I mean, at the beginning of our relationship, I it was dang near not happening. Now it's at the point to where it's like, okay, cool. We can sit down and have these conversations. I'm like, oh, I've seen the growth in you. Hey.
Yeah.
So, but I love the fact that you brought that up. It sounds like y'all are speaking it into the atmosphere.
Yes.
You're speaking into the atmosphere, and a lot of people understand emotional healing intellectually, but trauma lives in the body.
Yes.
So can you explain the somatic healing and why healing isn't just about thinking positively?
Oh, yeah, so much. If you've ever felt that charge, in your chest, in your abdomen, like
Mhm.
when you're about to have a confrontation with somebody, or if somebody comes in and they're like, "We gotta talk," and you're like, "Huh?"
Oh, yeah, you're like, oh shoot. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of like when you get that we need to talk text. You're like, oh
Yes, you're
gosh.
like, "Oh," yeah, shoulders creep
Yeah.
up, headache.
What did I do? You thinking of everything over the last month? Just
Yeah, exactly. Over time, when we don't release that,
Mhm.
it's just it's dark, heavy energy, however you want to explain it. Tension, darkness. It just adds in there and it constricts that life force, that flow of energy through your body,
Yes.
that flow of self-trust. And when you can dance, when you can breathe, when you can move, when you can just have a conversation walking with somebody, that is so powerful because if you're walking a little fast and you're trying to have a conversation, you're breathing, you're moving, and you're not
Mhm.
holding it. And when we're tense, when all bodies are stressed, we go into a state of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So fight is where we're like, oh, we can't
Yeah.
sit still. You know what I mean? Flight is I'm out of here. We'll talk about it later.
Yep.
Freeze is that tension that we just hold in our body, ugh, that internalized pain. And then fawn, that was my default response. That's where it's like, "Oh, I'll fix it. I'll take care of it. I'll make everything good. I won't say anything." But that freeze,
What is that one called? Because I've never heard that. I'm familiar with fights,
yeah,
flights, and freeze.
yeah, fawn, like you're
On.
fawning, yeah,
Okay.
fawning over somebody, like, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Got
It's
you.
wonderful. I'll take care of it." Yeah, but that freeze energy is that internalized stress and anxiousness and
Hmm.
anxiety. It can cause autoimmune disorders. It can cause just tension. It can cause so many stomach and gastrointestinal issues.
Oh man.
Yes, there's ways to like do true somatic processing, um, bilateral stimulation, EFT tapping. There's like all these
Yeah.
modalities, but you can also just walk, breathe, roll around on the floor. One of my favorite things to do is find music that kind of personifies what I'm feeling. If I'm angry, I'm going to find like rage music. If I'm in grief,
Heavy
I'm going
metal.
to find, yeah, exactly, exactly. I'll find something. And then I just get into a dark room and I pump that music loud and I let my body move. Sometimes I'm rolling
Mm.
on the floor, sometimes I'm jumping, sometimes like just stomping, doing whatever it is that your body does. If you've ever seen a toddler have a tantrum,
Yeah.
yes, yes, so healthy,
It
so
is. It
healthy.
really is. And then
Yeah,
society made it seem like that's not a normal way to act out in public. So therefore, the adults, the parents, we teach our children not to do that. We wonder why so many children have issues regulating their emotions because they don't know how to get it out, because the way that they used to get it out, they're told that that's not how you need to do it.
exactly, exactly. So, yeah, give yourself that structured time, 2 days a
Mhm.
week, whatever, to just be like, "Ah." Plus, it's a good workout, it feels good, but then you're not holding on to it, and then when you have that conversation with that person who ticked you off earlier,
Yeah.
you come in fresh, and you're not like, "Uh-huh, I know how this is gonna go."
Yeah. For sure, for sure. So
Yeah,
earlier we were talking about how men and women and how women came in, and at one point women were looked at as only able to do certain things.
yeah.
So let me ask this: when it comes to like midlife women being especially vulnerable to would you say that they're especially vulnerable to identity rupture?
Oh my goodness, yes, and I love that you asked that. I mean, first of all, if you've had kids, being an
Hmm.
empty nester is hard for men or women. Same, so many of these things I think are true for men or women, but I think they're a little bit harder for women. Women are also supposed to be young and thin and beautiful all the time. And you get to be midlife and you go through menopause and your body changes and
Yeah.
your hormones change and your hair changes and you get wrinkles and you're like, well, wait, society says I can't look like this. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, this is not my face and this is not my body. And then my kids are gone, and I've always been a wife and a mom and a whatever it is, and now I'm just old, and it's really hard. And then people, especially women, but I think people get that fear of death. Well,
Mm,
now what? Have I done enough? That
yeah.
whole quintessential midlife crisis. Have I done enough? And have I done it right?
I'm sorry. When you started talking about it, I just saw my wife's face just looking at me like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mhm,
mm-hmm. You get it
mhm,
now? Do you get it now?
mhm, mhm. It's hard.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. I can't say anything to that just because of the fact that I don't necessarily have those problems. And then I mean, when
Right.
y'all have children as well, your body changes from the children also. So
Yeah.
not only if you have children, your body changes. Then as you get older, it changes like more again.
Yes.
And
And it's
then
not fair.
I, again, I'm not y'all, so and I don't want to make it seem like I know what y'all are going through. I really don't. But I can only imagine how stressful that is because it's like you're constantly having to relearn yourself.
Yes. Yes. And I love that you say that because it is relearn. And then it's what can I control and what can I not control? And what do I have to make peace with? And what am I
Mhm.
not willing to make peace with? You know, it's like I love fitness, I love movement, I love all of that stuff. Okay, is it harder for me to build muscle now? You bet. But I'm not willing to let that piece go. But then there's other things I'm like, "Yeah, these gray hairs, that's all good. I'm fine with that." But it's
Shows my
all
wisdom.
exactly, but it's all what we have to make peace with, and, you know, speaking of betrayal,
Mhm.
so many people when they age, they feel like their body's betraying them. I'm
Mm,
you know, like, my husband got diabetes as he got older. He's thin. He's like, "How did this happen? This
yeah,
doesn't make sense." And same thing, there's so many people with just aging or diseases or inflammation or anything, and it's you feel like your body has betrayed you. I've worked
yeah,
my whole life, and I'm finally gonna retire if I've heard this so much. I'm finally gonna retire, and then my health goes, and I can't enjoy so I just worked my whole life. Great, thanks.
yeah. Yep, you spent all your health chasing money to later on spend all your wealth to put back into your health.
Yeah.
It's America. Anyway, so with it, we were just talking about how life changes as you go on. So how can we take this season and turn it into a rebirth instead of a breakdown?
Yeah. Couple of different things. First of all, one of my lessons going through the betrayal was really letting go of perfectionism
Mhm.
and just being who and how I was. Letting go of performance,
Mm.
letting go of I've got to make this right. I've got to do this better. And just enjoying what was right there in front of me. And I think that's that first area of rebirth is how can I rebirth myself into receiving joy? How can I quit trying so hard? I mean, even like spirituality, I would go for it. Not just, oh, hey, I'm going to read Course in Miracles. I have to do it every day and I have to do exactly what they said. And come on. Just breathe. Let it
Yes.
go. Be with where you are. Enjoy it. If you miss a day, it's okay. And I think a lot of that rebirth is just realizing, and this can sound negative, but it's not, realizing everything's going to fall apart at some point. You
Yeah.
know, whether it's friendships or relationships or material
Mhm.
items. And how can I just make the most of where I'm at right now? And to me, that's that biggest rebirth of all is how do I just find the most joy? How do I create the most joy? How do I emit that frequency of love, of connection, of presence? How can I be playful in the face of all of this stuff that I can't control anyway?
Mhm. That's what's up. I like that. Oh no, what happened? Okay. All right. You like fell off and it came back.
Wait a minute.
I was like, you can't drop those gems and just disappear. Like, no, she
Woo,
said mic check.
get out of here.
So for someone listening who feels broken right now,
Yeah.
who may feel discarded, unworthy, or even lost, what would you say are the first practical steps towards reclaiming themselves?
I think the very first thing is to feel your feelings.
Mm.
Don't try to bypass them. If you feel grief, feel that grief. If you feel like crying every night for a month, cry every night feel it fully because that's part of your humanness. And as you are doing it, as you are feeling all of those uncomfortable emotions, remind yourself of the gift of feeling
Hmm.
and that soon you will be feeling more because the deeper you go, the higher you can go. The deeper you
Ooh.
go fall, the higher you rise.
Okay, okay. And that makes
Mhm.
sense because if you were to dive down into a pool, you have to come back up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
I
then
like
from there, commit to choosing yourself. Because when you choose yourself, I think so many of us are trained, "Don't be selfish, don't be selfish." And I'm
you
not
need to.
saying yeah, I'm not saying, like, go be a jerk to everybody on the planet,
Hmm.
but choose yourself. You are the only person who can really take care of yourself the way you need to be taken care of. Prioritize your needs.
Yes.
Choose
And
yourself.
I say that all the time. I'm like, look, nobody can love me better than myself.
Right,
And I
right.
mean, and it's crazy. Now, granted, we're not saying go out there and become self-centered, but you do need to be selfish. It's not
Mhm.
always you need to put yourself first, but you need to think if you don't have something to give, you might not need you probably shouldn't give it to somebody else just because of the fact that if they were in this same situation, one, would they do the same for you? And two, if you lose that, that might be the last thing holding you up.
Yeah.
Now, to understand when you can give the last that you have, that right there is going to take you really getting to know yourself to understand what you can and cannot live with or live without at that moment.
Mhm. Mhm. And also ask yourself, "Why am I doing this?" Because if you can
The
ask
why.
yeah, why am I doing it? Oh, I'm doing it to make this person really feel like I'm useful. I'm doing it to make this person think that's for the wrong reason.
Yep.
So many people will say, "Well, I'm just a nurturer. I'm a
Mm.
caregiver." Okay, let's really unpack that a little bit because sometimes we all are. And sometimes, honestly, let's get honest, we're trying to impress someone or we're doing it because we think we should. And we're not doing it because we want to.
Yes. A lot of people do things thinking, what they will get out of it. I mean, we're living in the age where so many people will do a nice gesture. I have
Yeah.
to use that word because kind and nice are not the same. Do a nice gesture and record it just for views or to try and prove that they did something.
Yeah.
I'm I miss the days where people would be genuine in their actions.
Mhm.
But with it, you've brought up spiritual quite a few times and divine time. This podcast is rooted in authenticity, healing, and spiritual awareness. So I want to ask you, how does spirituality play a role in recovering from betrayal?
Okay. What I believe is when we grow, when we
Hmm.
learn, it's not only on behalf of ourselves, but it's for the entire collective. And it's spirituality to me is oneness. And when I can really remember that we are all one, we are all connected, we are all divine children of the universe, whatever you
We're
want
all
to
one.
say, yeah, we are one. So yes, do I wanna do good for me? Absolutely, but that healing also I have healed my lineage. My husband I don't wanna at the risk of simplifying it too much, he cheated on me because he was a hurt person. He was a hurt person because of severe childhood trauma, abuse, foster system, like, all of these horrible things.
Yes.
We did not pass this lineage on to our kids. Did we heal everything? No, not at all. But we were the firewall. We did a lot of healing. He's also now reconnecting with some of his cousins, and they're sharing their abuse stories, and they're getting healing from it, and then they're sharing it because of their kids too.
Hmm.
So that's that spirituality piece to me. How can we all lift each other up? Because it's not about me against you and I'm gonna heal me and you just go rot. It's how are we, because we are one, going to heal each other?
Facts. I love
Mhm.
that. I love that. So let me ask this. I always close out the episodes with two questions, two final questions. The first one is going to be gratitude and what you learned.
It's so weird to say I'm grateful for the depth of the experience,
Hmm.
but I'm grateful that it was so soul shattering because I know myself and I know it would have been so easy to gloss over something that wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Put some sugar on it and make it good.
Figure out and make it good.
So I'm grateful that it was such a horrific experience because it caused me to release everything and to finally grow. And what I learned from that experience truly is how powerful I am and how worthy I am.
Nice. And the next question that I always ask is, what do you want to say to the listeners?
I wanna say 2 things. I wanna say that happiness is truly a choice. Joy is truly a choice. You can be going through the worst experience of your life, and you can still
Mhm.
look at a cloud or a puppy and be like, "Oh, that is so cute." It's not good or bad, right or wrong. It's not like we flip a switch. Find those little moments of happiness along the way. Smile at a joke, laugh at a baby, do whatever it is, find that choice. And then the second thing that I wanna say is when you feel hopeless, when you feel shattered, it's okay. Just always know that there is hope, that you haven't been broken down, you've been broken open.
I love that. I love that. You haven't been broken down, you've been broken open. Man. Now, once they're broken open, oof. I'm gonna leave that there. That was really good, Laura. This has been real nice. This has been real nice. Gave me some things to think about
Good.
because betrayal can convince a lot of people of things, and eventually they'll convince themselves that they've lost themselves forever. So I
Yes.
mean, with it, I love the fact that how you mentioned earlier, you can it you can be reborn through all that has happened. It just
Mhm.
like with a phoenix, you can rise from the ashes.
Yes.
The things that will make you feel like you have just died, you can find a way to transmute that energy and turn it into a positive, and then actually go further than where you were at the time when that had happened. So that is beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and hit my closure. And we go. Oh, first of all, let me do this real quick. Can you tell everybody how they can find you?
Yeah, a couple of different things. If they're going through betrayal, go to betrayalrecoveryguide.com. You can download a free 5-part betrayal recovery guide that will help for any kind of betrayal. So betrayalrecoveryguide.com. And then if you want to go to my website and check me out, it's Lora Cheadle. And Laura is LoraCheadle, LoraCheadle.com. And I'm on all social as well.
Okay, and the socials are going to be the same. Lora Cheadle.
All Lora Cheadle.
All right, I'm gonna have to grab all this and put that into the show notes, and when I edit, I'll make sure I put that on the screen also.
Perfect.
So with it, I'm gonna go ahead and do my closing, and then we're gonna talk some more. All right.
Okay.
All right. So to everyone listening, if you've experienced betrayal, hear me clearly. Someone hurting you does not define your worth. Someone failing to honor your heart does not diminish your value. Sometimes the breaking is actually the awakening. I say that again. Sometimes the breaking is actually the awakening. Until next time, relax your mind. It all comes in divine time. Deuces. Hey, beautiful souls. If you love deep conversations about life, love, and spiritual growth, help us reach more like-minded people. Like, comment, and share to push these powerful episodes through the algorithm. Let's build a community that thrives on wisdom and connection. Find us everywhere. YouTube at Danley_Divine. Facebook and Kick at Divine Time Podcast. And also follow the blog, divinetime.blog. If you're looking for your soul tribe, join our Telegram group, Warriors of Love. Together we rise. Divine Time is now.